Hello, everyone, and welcome into a brand new ACC predictions. This is a week one predictions, preview and predictions of all the games throughout the ACC. Something brand new. Never done this over here, but I figured why not have some fun. It's Saturday. It is now the official kickoff of college football. North Carolina doesn't get to play until Monday night, so we have to sit here and just wait it out. We're like Squidward peeking through the blinds at SpongeBob and Patrick as they run around frolicking outside. We get to watch everybody else having a good time, but we have to wait. So why not? Let's talk about our ACC brethren, and let's look at all the games that has been played, that will be played right here during week one, and also review the games that's already been played through week 0 all the way through the last couple of nights. Let's start off with the Stanford Cardinals losing to Hawaii 23-20. This was out there in Hawaii. I thought Stanford was actually going to end up winning that game. Unfortunately, they did not. They looked really good at certain moments in time throughout the game, but for some reason just could not put that thing together completely. And Hawaii, the Rainbow Warriors, got themselves a good win against the Stanford Cardinals. Let's move on. We're going to do all the games in order from where they were played to now. Let's move up now to NC State and East Carolina. This game at first looked like NC State was just going to kind of run off with this game. I think it was 17-7, and CJ Bailey and the crew was starting to figure out the offense. But East Carolina, in typical ECU fashion, put up a fight against the NC State Wolfpack, and had a chance to go down there and win it late in the end, but fortunately could not get that done. We were rooting for that. We were filming our previews and predictions for the North Carolina TCU game, which we'll get to in a little bit. And boy, I thought they were going to do it. Unfortunately, they did not, but that's all right. NC State 24-17 over ECU in week 1. Let's move on to Duke versus Elon. This game was tied at 10 at halftime. Darian Mensah, the quarterback from Tulane, everybody's been heavily talking about him coming over. He's supposed to be one of the premier quarterbacks in the country. A 2-year deal he comes over on. That is a total of $8 million, which is now public. That is wild, to say the least. But Duke and Manny Diaz just invested into him heavily, and now they get their first win, 45-17 over Elon. Got themselves going in the second half. Darian Mensah ended up with a stat line of, there it goes. Now it pops up for me. I'm trying to do other stuff off my phone. He had 389 yards passing, averaged 11.4 per throw, 3 touchdowns, QBR 70.6. He was 27 of 34 out there. And he looked good in the second half. Some questions for Duke early on, but it looks like they're heading in the right direction. Let's move on to Wake Forest. Wake Forest got a good win against Kennesaw State, 10-9. This game was not very exciting, to say the least. Wake Forest trying to figure out who they're going to be. Brand new head coach coming in this year, and quarterback situation. When Wake Forest started the game, they looked fairly decent. They looked like they were going to be a little bit better than what they ended up being. But Robbie Ashford threw for 218 yards, 7.8 average, was 20 of 28, a QBR of 29.2. Was not a great showing by the Demon Deacons, but hey, a win is a win as long as you win. That's it. That they got the win. They're now 1-0 in the column. Looking forward to next week. And the game last night, that was fun one to watch. Georgia Tech headed out to Colorado. First time Deion Sanders is going to be without Shador and Travis Hunter. Caden Salter comes in as the quarterback over there. And Georgia Tech coming back with Haynes King and the crew, and they looked like they didn't skip a beat. It was kind of chippy there early on. Colorado had a lead, but Georgia Tech was able to come back, put themselves ahead, and then also secure the victory against Colorado. Great win there for Georgia Tech and a team that looks to be potentially upper echelon in the ACC. We will see. So that gets us to today. The ACC schedule, the slate today starts right here in about 13 minutes at 12 o'clock as Syracuse traveled down to face number 24 Tennessee. This is the Aflac kickoff. Looks to be potentially a good game. Fran Brown going to be down there in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. ABC is going to be carrying this game. Fran Brown last year took this team to 9 wins, got Clemson into the ACC championship game, and really seemingly flipped this program around over on its head immediately. Brought over the quarterback Schrader from Ohio State last year, and they just ended up going on a great run there. And Syracuse looks like a really good team. They added some more pieces this year, and it looks like they're potentially there to do this thing again. Syracuse is not favored. They are heavy underdogs against number 24 Tennessee. Tennessee is a team that's trying to figure out the quarterback situation. Joey Aguilar, the former quarterback for App State, taking over for Tennessee after Nico Iamaleava. I think I'm butchering his name. Leaves for NIL reasons, to say the least. Leaves, heads over to UCLA. So Tennessee's trying to figure out who they're going to be. Syracuse, an 11.4% chance, this is per ESPN matchup predictor, to win this game against Tennessee. I think Syracuse is going to put on a pretty solid performance here against Tennessee. Great opening opponent. This could be a statement game for Syracuse if they're able to win this game. I ultimately believe that Syracuse is probably going to lose this game to Tennessee. They got a lot of good players over there, and I like what they're doing. So I think that Syracuse will lose this game to Tennessee, but hopefully in a little bit more of a close fashion. I'm going to say 27 to 21 Tennessee in this game over Syracuse. I like where Fran Brown's going, and this is just the beginning. Next week I think they got UConn and Colgate and things of that nature. So they've got some games to get ready for Clemson in their Week 4 matchup. So excited to see what Fran Brown's going to do this year, and I think they're going to lose this game, but it's not going to be I don't think it's going to be a runaway, to say the least. Next up, we got Pitt and Duquesne right here at 12 o'clock as well on the ACC network, so you guys can head over there and listen to that game. Pitt is a team that last year Eli Holstein came in from Alabama and played really well for them. I thought he was the right quarterback for them. North Carolina faced him last year, and just watching him in person. But unfortunately, Pitt seemed to nosedive there towards the end of the season. So they're going to come out hot, ready to right the wrongs over there for them, and a team that I think Reese Davis picked as a dark horse to get into the playoffs. Pittsburgh looking to get on the right train here and go up against Duquesne. And I think they'll probably win this one pretty handily. Probably something in the nature of 40-3, 40-10, maybe somewhere in that range. Boston College, Ford going up against Fordham. This is at 2 p.m. on ESPN Plus and ACC Extra. So if you have any one of those, you can go watch that game. Boston College, we got to see them at the ACC kickoff. Bill O'Brien is trying to get the Boston College Eagles going in the right direction. Had some controversy last year with Thomas Castellanos, who is now the quarterback for the Florida State Seminoles, who's got Alabama later on today. So it looks like it's, Boston College is a team that is trying to find themselves, but what better way to try and find yourselves with them with a coach like Bill O'Brien? He's got NFL pedigree and talent. So Looking forward to see what the Boston College Eagles do this year. They're a little bit of a question mark, but going up against Fordham, I think they'll be able to take that game head on and get ready for Michigan State next week on the road. So looking forward to see what Boston College does there. I think they'll win this game 30-7 in this game. I'm going to pick them there. Louisville, Eastern Kentucky as well at 3 p.m. Louisville bringing over Miller Moss, the quarterback from USC. Louisville is a team that was really good last year. Dark horses to get into the ACC championship game. They were up there battling with the top end of the ACC. Louisville has been a good program. Bringing over Miller Moss, I think it's going to be really that was a good pickup for them. So I'll be excited to see what Louisville does. See how Miller Moss plays over here in the ACC. They always do the best with their quarterbacks over there. Louisville, in my opinion, will absolutely handle Eastern Kentucky in this game, and I think I think Louisville could possibly score 50 in this game. I'm not gonna lie. I'm picking a 50. What should we pick? Let's say 55-3. Screw it. Let's. I'm picking some blowouts today. I think Louisville is a good team, and I like where Louisville's going. Miller Moss to me should be a pretty good stud. We will see, but I'm looking forward to seeing what happens there. But at 3:30 p.m. now, this is a big one. Louisville versus I just already said that game. Florida State versus number 8 Alabama. Now, this game is at the Doak. A lot of questions from Mike Norvell and the squad. Thomas Castellanos is going to be your quarterback over there for Florida State. They're going up against the Alabama team that seniored. They kept a lot of guys over there in Alabama, brought in some studs. Second year under DeBoer. A lot of pressure for Alabama. We all heard that, they won 9 games, I think, last year, 19 games last year, and they were talking about, firing DeBoer because he didn't go win the national championship like Saban. I think in DeBoer's second year, he's got some studs out there, Ryan Williams being one of them. I like where Alabama is sitting, and Florida State is a team that Norvell is once again had to go into the portal for to try and bring a ton more talent over. I think Florida State could give Alabama a run early in the game, but I think ultimately Alabama's probably, I think they're favored by 14 and a half or something, right? Something like that right now is the current over and under. If I remember seeing this correctly, I'm double checking this now, but it's not showing me. Per ESPN Matchup Predictor at 90.6% win percentage for Alabama. I do think they win this game by at least 2 touchdowns, and Florida State gets possibly an ugly loss to start the season, but in the next 2-3 weeks, all the way up until you get to your ACC opener against Virginia, you got Kent State in there. They got some games to get right. So I don't think this is going to be a bad Florida State team. I don't. I think this is going to be a really good one. Maybe ACC championship contention, potentially. We will see. But I don't like them in this game at all. I got Alabama winning this game 31-14 in my opinion there. Let's move on. 6 p.m. This is a game I'm actually looking forward to watching. Virginia hosting Coastal. Now, I'm a South Carolina native. I'm born and raised in South Carolina. My family, all of my family is from North Carolina, is where the North Carolina ties come from. But I'm a big Coastal fan. I actually really enjoy watching Coastal play football. I wish they were a Power 4. They'd be my favorite team in the state of South Carolina. They would never trump North Carolina, but favorite team in South Carolina, to say the least. And Virginia. The Virginia is a team that we've all been watching in the ACC since Tony Elliott's come in. He has been trying to get this team on the right direction, and it seems like he's starting to get there. Had a lot of key transfers come over, so I'm looking forward to see exactly what this Virginia team is. The hype behind the scenes has been very high, that this team has a lot of the right pieces that you're going to want in order to get in to potentially make a run. So Virginia hasn't been the best team over the last few years. I think they're going to get this win today against Coastal. I think this is actually going to be more of a closer game. I don't pick this game going maybe a 10-point victory for Virginia, something to that nature. We'll see. But I'm going to roll with Virginia in this game, and I've got it 31-21 Virginia. Don't know if it's going to get to that point though. I think the sweet spot for this game is 3-7. But I'm going to pick a 10-point win for Virginia. I'm going to buy into some of that Virginia hype and head over. Then we get to 7:30 p.m. tonight. 7:30 p.m. tonight. The game most people are going to be watching this evening. Big time game. Number 9 LSU coming to the real Death Valley. Number 4 Clemson. This is the game everybody's talking about right now. It's been talked about a ton during the outside of Texas, Ohio State. I think this is probably the biggest game of the weekend right here. Two great teams with some great head coaches. LSU, another year under their belt, their experience. Clemson is an experienced team, really for the first time since the Trevor Lawrence era, maybe the early DJ days. But this team has got a lot of pedigree. This team is on top of they are the kings of the ACC. Clemson, that is. They got Cade Klubnik, which is a Heisman contender. We'll see. But I don't personally put him in the Heisman race. He's a good player. I don't think he's Heisman level. You got Garrett Nussmeier on the other side. This is going to be a heavyweight fight, and I think Clemson ends up coming out here and winning this game. It's going to be a tight one. ABC tonight at 7:30. It's to ESPN matchup predictor. It's about a 50-50 currently right now, and I'm curious to see how this LSU team looks. This is a hard game to pick, but I do think that Clemson's going to get this game. I'm going to say 34-27 Clemson. I think it gets a little bit high scoring here. I know the defenses are really good for both teams, but I think the offenses are actually going to shine a lot for both teams, and it's going to come down to a shootout, which I don't think will be the theme of very many games for either one of these teams this year, where their offense is going to have to go win them games. I think a lot of their defenses, their defenses are going to be some of the better ones in the country. Number 16 SMU at 9:00 tonight hosts East Texas A&M. SMU is a team that still has a good number of people returning. Did lose a lot, but they got a good number of people returning, as well as their quarterback Jenkins. I think SMU is still a really, really good team. I think they're still going to be upper echelon of the ACC. So I've got SMU winning that game against East Texas A&M. Fairly high scoring game. I think this is another game where SMU could get probably drop a 40 burger on East Texas A&M. No disrespect to them, but it's the difference between FCS and Power 4. That's just the case. Oregon State and California at 10:30 p.m. So the late night shift for California over there. Cal's a team that is interesting. They lost Mendoza, their quarterback, to Indiana, gone to Indiana. They did flip the 5-star quarterback commit from Oregon, and they brought him in, and I do believe he is their starter. But Oregon State just picked up Malik Murphy, the quarterback, as we all know from the ACC last year, that was at Duke and led Duke to that 9-win season. He had originally been at Texas before he come to Duke. Goes over to Oregon State. Oregon State is a team that is trying to figure themselves out. We all know the destruction of the Pac-12 for the last couple of years. It's really affected Oregon State and Washington State for that matter. ESPN matchup predictor actually has Cal winning this game. It's about a 55.7% chance of victory per ESPN matchup predictor. I just don't know. You are at Oregon State for this game. I got Oregon State winning this game 24-21. I think this is going to be a tight game. Two programs trying to find themselves, but somebody's going to have to win, and I think that Oregon State is going to get the win over California. And that is going to conclude our Saturday slate. Now we got 2 games on Sunday and only 1 on Monday. So let's start off 3 p.m. tomorrow, Sunday, August 31st. The Virginia Tech Hokies take on number 13, South Carolina. This is also down there in Atlanta, Georgia. South Carolina comes in this year with a great quarterback in Lenore Sellers, a person that people have in their Heisman candidate list. We'll see how that goes this season. You also have Dylan Stewart on the edge for the defense of South Carolina. Virginia Tech brings back Kyron Drones out there, a quarterback who has a lot of potential. I think had some injury issues last year. And then you've got Brent Pry out there trying to lead this team, trying to get Virginia Tech on the right track. Last year was supposed to be a really good year for them, and it ended up being nothing. I thought Virginia Tech was going to be a really good team last year, and now they've lost a lot of their team. If you guys remember back during the bowl game prep, Virginia Tech lost half their team, right before the bowl game, and didn't go very well for them. So I don't think Virginia Tech's got enough to face South Carolina. I understand it's a neutral site game. Anybody can get anybody. And if anybody knows about Virginia Tech upsetting a top 15, top 10 team early in the season or the first game of the season, as a North Carolina fan, I definitely do, because they did that just a number of years ago and we came in 10th in the country. So I like Brent Pry. I think he's a cool dude. When we talked to him or when we saw him at the ACC kickoff, I didn't see any level of confidence in him. I'm sorry. I just didn't. And I highly question his motives going forward. So I got South Carolina winning this game probably pretty handily. I'm picking a 31-14 win there for the Gamecocks down there in Atlanta, which sucks because I can't stand the Gamecocks personally. So I always want the ACC to whip any SEC team there. But that game, I don't think will be the most entertaining game, but the next one's going to be. Number 6 Notre Dame travels down to number 10 Miami. Boy, oh boy, Notre Dame just coming off of a national championship game against Ohio State last year. Marcus Freeman's really got this Notre Dame team running, and they've got a lot of good pieces this year. Miami is a team that had Cam Ward last year, really good up until right there the late season. Fall just fell off big time and lost their bowl game as well. I think Cam Ward played like 15 minutes or something of that nature. It just Miami is a team that, and honestly, I think in the ACC, and I think I speak for the vast majority of most ACC teams, we don't know what they're going to be. They're very much a roller coaster every year. They always get all the hype. Carson Beck now being your quarterback over there for Miami. Both teams are going to try and figure out who they're going to be. Both teams got brand new quarterbacks going to be rolling out this year. A lot of moving pieces for both teams. Notre Dame is coming down to Miami, and Notre Dame has not done very well down in Miami. That has been a place for them that has really given them some issues. I forget the record, but they haven't won a game there in quite some time, last I looked. But I think Marcus Freeman's going to be the guy that's going to come in, and he's going to get this team over the hump over this Miami team. I don't think Miami really knows exactly who they're going to be. They got a lot of good pieces. They have a 54.9% chance that is Notre Dame to beat Miami today. tomorrow at 7:30. So I'm gonna pick. Honestly, I'm just gonna roll with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I like Marcus Freeman as a coach. I think he's doing an excellent job over there. And I mean, this guy's got Notre Dame back in prominence again, a real prominence, not just being some old fashioned name. I mean, national championship game last year, man, and it was a good game. So I'll take the Fighting Irish to get over Miami, and then Miami from there. They got a few games. They got a USF game, which is going to be very interesting, especially considering how USF played. This is in week 3. How USF played against Boise the other night with that massive blowout, and then Florida right afterwards. And Miami's got a couple of games there where they got some sneakily good games. They got a Florida team in week 4. Then you go to week 6. And you've got Florida, you're at Florida State. We'll see what Florida State ends up being like this year. Then you go and you got Louisville at home. So there's a few games in there that they could potentially lose. So Miami's going to have to get on track right. And for Miami, they better hope they get it. They can secure somehow, some way, secure a win over this Notre Dame team. All roads lead to one night, and that is Labor Day night. September 1st, TCU coming to North Carolina. This is the first ever college football game that Bill Belichick will be the head coach of a college team. This is the first one ever for him. 58.7% chance for the TCU Horned Frogs to come in with a win. North Carolina is coming in with a team that is all brand new. 70 brand new players to this team this year, a whole new coaching staff outside of one, and that is offensive coordinator Freddie Kitchens, who has been with the program for the last couple of years in the tight end room. A lot of conversation. This is going to get a lot of national publicity. ESPN Countdown is going to be there. As a matter of fact, Game Day didn't even pick the North Carolina TCU game. They're waiting until Monday in order to do that, considering the magnitude of the game. It's going to be under the lights. The national media is going to be running wild. It is the only game on that day. It is the last game of week 1. And this right here is a chance for Bill Belichick to make a statement coming out. TCU is a great team, brought out by quarterback Josh Hoover, a guy that just lit up the world last year for TCU. TCU didn't really have a run game this year so far. It doesn't seem like they're going to have one either. We'll see. It's a big question mark for them. And their offensive line, how good coverage they can they provide for pass protection? Can they provide for Josh Hoover, who was sacked 16 times last year? Can Sonny Dykes, continue to push this team in the right direction? This is a team that did win 9 games last year. They have a pretty stud out there in the safety department, and Bud Clark, a senior, who looks to be really good, and a great wide receiver in Eric McAllister, a guy that is pretty physical. He's fast and he's quick. And when he gets on the outside, he loves mossing people. That's just what he likes to do. So North Carolina comes in with brand new quarterback Gio Lopez of South Alabama, transfer from there. Had a great year last year. Threw for like 2,500 yards, almost run at 2,600 yards last year. Amarian Hampton obviously being gone. You kind of curious to see what happens with the running back room. Looks to be like there could be potentially 4 running backs for North Carolina this year, and all of them probably getting their name called at some point in time. Wide receiver room as good as it always been, but the question really is going to be is what can Steve Belichick do? Steve Belichick as the defensive coordinator. Defense hasn't been a very easy thing to come by at North Carolina over the last 30 years, and can he be the one to reignite that flame? It's going to be an interesting night. There's a lot of question marks for both teams. TCU knows themselves a little bit better than Belichick. Or TCU knows themselves better than North Carolina knows themselves currently right now. They're very familiar, very experienced, have a lot of returners over there for TCU. And North Carolina is a team that nobody really knows yet. So it's going to be it's going to be an interesting night. And with all the brand new unknowns, the atmosphere that's going to be in Kenan Stadium, I personally think that Carolina is going to win this game 27-24. It's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a nip and tuck. Both teams trying to figure the other one out. Where I give Carolina the edge is the fact that Belichick and the staff have ample time to be able to look at what they do and say, okay, we know where their strengths are and we know what their weaknesses are. For TCU, this is going to be a lot of on the fly movement. They've been looking at tape of Cam Newton and the Patriots when Belichick was coaching them because of a mobile quarterback, and also looking at a little Freddie Kitchens, Baker Mayfield tape, to try and get a gauge for what's going to happen. But you're not going to know until you get on the field. And I like I like that matchup. I'll take experience coaching wise over a high powered offense. So I'm looking forward to see what happens this year in the ACC, number one, because this ACC is kind of wide open to say the least. Outside Clemson up top, who's clearly the front runners in my opinion. Everybody else, it's kind of a shooting, just a toss up, just a shooting match really, and to see who in the world is going to be able to make it. But let me know what you guys think down here in the comments below. We'll see how these games end up playing out. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do, and I think it's going to be a really, really good time. Looking forward to it, and we'll talk about all these games when they're done, maybe even next week. We'll talk about them, see how they did, kind of recap, and then go from there. Hopefully, you guys are looking forward to it. I'm super excited. It's time for some ACC football, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens here. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. And as always, go Heels.